Welcome to the driver's seat. Very few vehicles catch me by surprise, and this 2021 Ford Bronco Sport has done that. So we've logged over 1,000 miles in 8 days with this vehicle. A lot of highway driving. We drove from Los Angeles to Phoenix and back. Went up pretty good grade to get up to Sedona. I feel like we've really had an opportunity to test this. Did a little off-roading. Didn't really use the GOAT modes too much, but this is an impressive vehicle. And if you don't believe me, I wish I had the camera rolling when probably over 24 people came up to me during this past week and told me, wow, what a good-looking vehicle. And when I told them what I do, well, what do you think of it? This thing has blown me away. I mean, my only complaint really is the back seat. I think I wish it was a little bit bigger, a little more room. But for two people, it's perfect. We had this thing loaded up with lots of gear, and it's comfortable. The 1.5, which is the engine we're driving, it's a smaller engine you get on the bottom 3 trim levels, is more than adequate. We haven't driven the 2-liter. Can only imagine the power and torque of that for such a small form factor, but completely impressed. Comfortable, good tech. $32,000 for this mid-level Outer Banks model. The Badlands and First Edition are above this. Those get the 2-liter engine, but starting price $27,000 for the base model. You can push it to low 40s for the First Edition, loaded out, but blown away. Love the color. This is that Area 51 color. Love the white graphics, the white lettering on the darker surfaces. Provides some nice contrast. It's just a good car. When you're driving 4 or 5 hours at a time, you want a comfortable seat. And I was cursing myself, why did I schedule this for a trip to Phoenix? But it was comfortable. It was functional. It was comfortable. It's attractive, relatively fuel efficient. We were driving 85 miles an hour. Speed limit was 75, so we were 10 over, and we're still getting 26 miles to the gallon. That's pretty good for a vehicle that looks as good as this one does. Think of it as like a Jeep Renegade, but that was properly executed. That's about 10 to 20% bigger and just better in every way, shape, and form. The Renegade was a disaster in my opinion. This is a home run. And I mean, my focus was on the Bronco. I even put a security deposit down on a Bronco because I ended up buying a 1-year-old Toyota Land Cruiser. I'm not going to buy that Bronco, and also because it can't tow, I need something that can tow. But I still think the Bronco is going to be incredible. Can't wait to spend a full week with that one. But for now, the Bronco Sport is what's available, and this thing is a home run. We had it up to 100 miles an hour, steady driving. It was stable. We don't usually do this, but we're on Interstate 10 going west, and aren't many people on the road. We're doing 100 miles an hour, but I wanted you to see just how stable this Bronco Sport is. It's not like what you would expect from a vehicle like the Jeep Renegade, which would not be this planted on the road. So very impressed with how the Bronco Sport drives, both on city, off-road, and on a highway like this. It was comfortable. It was relatively quiet. The styling is great. I can just go on and on. You have pretty good tech with the, Apple CarPlay and whatnot. Ford tells us there are 7 GOAT modes in this vehicle. When you go through the GOAT modes here, we've got sand, normal, eco, sport, slippery. So we didn't quite find the 7 that they talked about, but this is the mid-level model. Whatever. We have no doubt that this is a vehicle that's capable as far as 95% of your off-road needs. And what's nice about this, it's not very expensive. Everything kind of feels, relatively durable. Got lots of little cubbies. This is a great day-to-day vehicle. I think a great vehicle for an active couple, whether you're younger or older. If you got to put kids in the back seat, maybe younger kids, smaller kids, I don't think, you don't really want to have 4 adults in here. It could be a little uncomfortable, and not a lot of cargo room behind the second row. But if you can fold at least one of the seats down, you got all the room you need. I don't know, they nailed it. And I got to tell you, Ford is, they're on a pretty good streak right now. The new Explorer is good. The F-150 is always a rock star. The Ranger, the new Bronco coming, the Mach-E. I mean, they really have a solid lineup of vehicles, and to me, they're winning that the battle right now, at least of the top 3 American brands. They really are. They're nailing it on all fronts. None of those are really making passenger cars anymore. They're all focusing on trucks and SUVs, and this is polarizing. This really nailed it. It's not quite as big as a RAV4. It's bigger than an HRV. It's just, but it's the styling, and it just sells the image that this thing could go anywhere, do anything, even though it can't. But it could do more than most. And because of the way they did the bulges in the hood and just the styling and this whole goat mode thing, they really have sold that image. This is not a Jeep Wrangler competitor. That's what the Bronco is for, but arguably somewhere between a Jeep Cherokee and a Jeep Renegade. The styling is more Renegade, but size is closer to a Cherokee. So it's really kind of hard to pigeonhole this exactly where it's at. But we were impressed. I think the price, this model here, the Outer Banks, at $32,000, $36,000 with the destination handling and a few extras, it's a no-brainer. It's what do you compare it to? Maybe a Honda Accord, for example. I'd rather have this than a Honda Accord. It's way more practical. It looks better. It's a good driving vehicle. You don't even notice. I mean, we're going 70 right now, around a turn here, and it's just stable. It's planted. So the work that they did to keep the chassis stiff but not uncomfortable, mating these powertrains to this transmission, and the suspension work that they did, it all works. It just all kind of fits in and works. I certainly hope the reliability is going to be there. Obviously, we don't know. It's too early, but just really almost nothing to complain about. They nailed it. I mentioned the back seat. That could be a little bit better, but overall, really a home run for Ford. And I don't think you need to go much above this, this Outer Banks model. But we can't wait to drive the Badlands or the first edition with the bigger engine, because that's just going to be that much better. I mean, you're talking 250 horsepower or so for those, for that powertrain. That's pretty substantial for a vehicle of this form factor. So if this is on your list, you know what, you will love it, enjoy it. If you can wait a little bit, I would, because I think there's just such a pent-up demand for something like this. So hopefully you can get a decent deal. I don't like paying full price or even over sticker for anything. So if you can wait. But I think in a year or so, especially when the new Bronco comes in about 6 months, this is going to be a home run. It's a home run already, but it's really good. It's really going to be a good value if you can get this at about $1,000 or $1,500 off. What a great value proposition. So I'm really surprised that this did not win Utility of the Year, North American Utility of the Year, but the Mach-E did, which almost makes you think that they should have a separate category for electric vehicles. But regardless, it was in the family. They won. But this to me is really one of the best things Ford has produced in a really long time, and under the radar. We have big expectations for the Bronco, and and we think it's going to, it's going to live up to those expectations. But we had almost no expectations for this Bronco Sport, and it far exceeded it. I'm Ron Doran. Thanks for watching. See you next time on The Driver's Seat.